Hi, everyone. This is Drea Marcel, and I'm back with another episode of Beyond the Runway. I'm so glad to be joining you this Friday evening. I'm super excited about today's interview. The guest will be coming on. She actually just came in. Hey, Mimi, we're going to get started. I'm going to bring you on. So, today we're going to be having a conversation with the model Mimi. She's been modeling for a couple of years, so we're going to find out more about her journey as a curvy plus size model. So let's bring her on. Should be about another second.
Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to push this back so you can see me a little better. I'm fine.
Good, good. Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for interviewing with me on short notice. This was absolutely amazing. So thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, yes. You got great lighting in the background. I'm happy. So we can definitely get started. So tell us a little bit about your how did you get started in modeling?
So I was 19 years old, and it was a photographer. I loved his work. So I scheduled a photo shoot. His name was Jason Hudson. So from there, I just been doing photo shoots, and I love fashion so much. So I would do little videos where I would dress up and walk down my mom hallway, and people saw my videos, and they'd be like, "Hey, come to our audition, come try out." So that's how I got into actual runway. But I've been getting my pictures taken since I was 19 years old.
Okay. And you look very young. I'm not gonna ask you how old you are. You still look like you're pretty young.
Oh,
So
I could tell you how old I am.
okay.
I'll be 30. I'll be 39 this year.
Oh, really? Okay. We're
Yes.
gonna have to talk later. You're gonna have to drop your beauty routine. You
Okay.
look fabulous. So you have been modeling for almost 20 years? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, okay. All right. So what was okay, so you talked about your first opportunity. What was the photographer's name again?
Jason Hudson.
Okay. Is he still active in the area or
Well, from what I've seen on his social media, it's like he's in South America, LA, California. So he's doing like a lot of stuff. So I don't know. He's made a name for himself.
okay.
The fact that he's in other countries. And matter of fact, the picture that I gave to you to use for the reel, the black and white picture with the braids, that was the actual one of the
Oh,
actual pictures that he took. So
that
I
one was
gave you
very
one of
pretty.
those.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
I was 19 years old in that picture.
Really? Oh my
Yes.
goodness. All right, so how did you start off? Was it commercial? Was it print? Like what niche did you fall into?
Well, I'll say I was doing more of print stuff. So like say a photographer wanted to, oh, I want you to try this concept. I'm gonna use you for my website or I'm gonna use you to promote my photography. So I've done stuff like that. I haven't been published in like any clothing magazines or anything yet,
Not
but
yet.
I'm
Yeah,
working.
it's coming
Yeah, I'm
soon.
working.
It's coming soon. Okay, so from when you started modeling, how has the industry changed?
Well, when I was younger, it wasn't really welcoming for plus size models, and plus size models wasn't really a thing. And back then, to those people, if you were a size 10, you were considered plus size. And there weren't many plus size women even getting their professional pictures taken. So that was the difference from when I was a teenager compared to now. It's like they're more accepting, but it's still some stipulations now.
So out of all the projects and shows that you've done, what was your favorite?
So my favorite experience was with the model experience. I was able to
Okay.
walk. I
And
was
they're
able
based
to.
in, explain what it is for the people.
Okay, so the model experience, it gives people a chance to, if you want to be a designer or a model, to display your clothing in front of big names and companies. But the downside is you have to sell, I believe, 7 or 8 tickets, and then once you meet your ticket sales, they'll connect you to whoever the designer is.
Okay.
And then once you meet your designer, you get to walk across their stage. They have celebrity performances, they have talent scouts, agencies. So the model experience was one of my favorite experiences. I did their New York Fashion Week last year,
Okay.
and in 2023, I went to their LA Fashion Week.
Oh,
I modeled in that show.
I've never been to LA. That's on my model dream list. Can you like elaborate like what your experience was like in LA?
Uh, we went to it was the LA Convention Center, so that's where they held it. It was huge. It was very huge. I enjoyed the show. Everything was like organized, and it was the best thing I've seen. I was like, wow, I feel like one of those
Oh
supermodels
wow.
because the runway is beautiful. The
Okay.
runway is beautiful. I can share my runway videos from those shows to you.
Please
They're
do
on my
so.
they're on my page, but I'll send them to your inbox so you can
Yeah.
see them.
Now I gotta go to LA now, huh? I always heard there was
Yeah.
more opportunities out there. So that's something I definitely have to try.
Yes.
Have you always been confident in your body eh, during your journey as a model?
Yes, I've always been confident. Like even as a kid, like my grandma would say, "Hey, you might need to lose weight. What if you can't get a prom dress or go on the prom?" Believe it or not, even though I'm in my 30s, I'm still the same size I was like almost 10 years ago.
Okay.
So my weight, it goes up and down. I might lose 20, might gain 10, but I never go past a size 22, 24. That's the size that I am.
Okay, okay. So within that range, and I think that's
Yeah.
natural for most people, right? We kind of fluctuate a little bit depending on like the season, what's going on in our
Mhm.
lives, things like that. So okay. So you've always had that confidence. What advice or tips would you give someone just starting out in the industry, in terms of how to build up your confidence?
Well, I'll say first and foremost, love yourself and don't let anyone project their negativity towards you, especially about your body. And I tell people, like some people, they'll say, "Oh, I don't like the way my stomach look," and I'll say, "Well, they have body shapers." I'm like, until you get comfortable with wearing your body naturally, you can wear a body shaper. So I try to boost people's confidence, and then now I'm styling people because I'm in school to be a
Okay.
stylist. So I try to pick out outfits that I'll think look good on the person that'll fit their body type so that they can feel confident in. And then even with myself, I know I'm plus size. I got a little weight here or there. So I make sure when I put something on, I'll look and say, okay, I look okay. And then I'll get a second opinion. Like I'll ask my teenage daughter or even my 9-year-old. I'll say, how do I look? What do you think? And they're like, oh, you did a good job, Mom. And they're like, you never do anything wrong. But like, I like to get the reassurance, especially from a teenager
Because they
with
will tell
current
you the
fashion
truth.
trends. Yeah, they'll tell you.
Okay, so you also do a little bit of styling. So let's talk about that for a moment. Like just describe that for us. Like in what ways do you style people? How can people reach out to you?
Okay. So the Fashion Institute of Technology, they have a styling certificate program, and it's called Styling Foundations. So I'm currently enrolled in that program. I'll be finished in April. And
Congratulations.
just thank you. Just recently, I've done a women's shoot where I styled 3 models and myself, and I'll show you those pictures. So I showed like I had people with different sizes. So I was the biggest. I had a real petite, size 0 model. Then I had a model that was like a 12, 14. And I had a model that was like a 14, 16, and then me at 22, 24. So I styled all 4 of
Okay.
us. And then last week I styled 5 men, all different
Okay.
sizes. I had I had a like a petite short like a size small. I had a medium. I had a large. I had a man that wore extra large, and then I had a man that wore a big and tall male model. So I styled those men last week, and I did like kind of like a casual, business casual type look for those guys. And now um, I have a lot of Muslim women and men in my family, and next month is Ramadan.
Yes.
So I'm going to style my Muslim family so you can see how fashionable that Muslim women can be. So I have so many different ideas, and like I told my fellow models, and also I am a designer. I make clothes too.
You're like a
So
Renaissance woman. I love it. Okay.
yes. So I reach out to different people. I'm like, hey, I want to work with you. Or can I model for you? Will you model for me? Or can I make something? Will you wear this? Well, can I take your picture? So I'm always reaching out to people. And then I see that you have a
I do.
boutique. Do you carry my
It
size?
depends on what it is. I'm still not. Yeah, it's been about a year, so I'm still new, developing, trying to figure out
Okay.
what's going on. It depends on the style of clothing and your body type, because like every size is not the same to me, so it may lay a little
Hmm.
differently. And as you were talking, I was thinking we could probably do something together. Since you style people, I can loan you a few pieces, and we can kind of collaborate and work from that. I see in the comments too, someone said that you're a great designer, so I can't wait to see more of your designs.
Oh, that's one of the handsome young gentlemen. I had the opportunity to style him. His name is Mentor, and also he first walked for me last year in August. We did a fashion show at the African American Museum, and
Okay.
I was looking at his audition video because he wears glasses. He's like, he gives you like that intelligent computer guy, and you would think, hey, this guy doesn't model. I was like, I want to give this guy a chance. And then when I met him, you see body, muscles. I was like, oh my gosh, this man is like the perfect, he would be the perfect Calvin Klein
Oh,
model.
wow.
And since then, like, he enjoyed wearing my stuff, and he told me, he was like, you have a model for life. So he said he'll work with me
Oh,
whenever I need it.
oh, that is so nice. I definitely got to follow you, Prince. As soon as we're done, I'll follow you. That is so nice. I think that's one of the great things about modeling is that it's almost like this gateway. You kind of start off, you get in, you start meeting people, and you say to yourself, "Oh, I want to try this and I want to try that," and you kind of develop your skills. And I feel like even though you model, you're a designer, you're a stylist, each layer builds you up better as a model. So,
Yes.
like recently, I did my first runway show as a boutique owner, and one of the models, I won't say who, and I don't think it was on purpose, left one of my dresses on the floor because
Oh, yeah, that happens.
she was hurrying up to get to the next designer because it was like back to back. She had to walk, and I just happened to be walking around, and I was like, well, there's my dress. I said, okay. So I think from that, now I know as a model, I'm more mindful. Okay, did I give the garment back to the designer? Did I hang it up properly? Was I gentle taking it off? So those are things that I definitely keep more in mind. So
One thing, because I've been trying to also give feedback to people where I was a designer in their shows. Like I made up a call sheet. Like say it will list the designer and then it'll have slots for, I'll say nobody should have no more than 15 models at a time walking for them.
yes.
So I made up a nice little spreadsheet. I shared it with a few people, and then I said that they should have assistants where they can help collect the garments so it can make it easier. Like if we're going to put a lot of time into a show, if we had more coordination, we won't have issues of items being stolen or thrown on the floor. So from being a model, being a designer, I look at different ways to try to better the process. I try to tell people stuff. People don't listen to me because they figure like,
What do
oh,
you know?
this young girl. 'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah, everybody think I'm like 20 something years old and don't know nothing, but like I've been around for a while and I've seen things, and like I said, I've seen how a big production of a fashion show with thousands of people. So I and they were like really coordinated. So
Okay.
I pay attention to everything. So if I ever had a show, I wouldn't have any hiccups.
I love that. And I think that comes with experience. As you said, you see different things, you take notes, you learn and you grow. So if ever you have a show, you have to invite me. I
Oh,
would love
I
that.
sure will.
I would love that.
And I would love to wear some clothes from your boutique.
Yes, we're gonna work it out. You're
And
gonna
then
help me grow.
even if I don't wear anything, I'll bring a model to come style in your
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. We'll talk after the live. We'll communicate.
Okay.
So I want us to wrap up because I know it's Friday night and you look fly, so I'm sure you're going somewhere.
No, I'm not going nowhere. I just believe it or not, this is like a two-piece set,
Okay.
and I just threw a blazer on. I was like, I had to be stylish on camera, so let me
Please.
throw the blazer on.
Yes, you gotta walk it like you talk it, right?
And it just so happened that one thing some people know, some people don't. I have more than 30 plus pairs of eyeglasses to match my outfits.
Wow.
So it kind of happened naturally. And people, like my grandma yelled at me. She's like, why do you need so many glasses? I was like, why not?
You can never have enough.
Yes.
Because
Uh,
you'll need it for that certain outfit. It's just gonna set everything off, and I do like the frames. It fits your complexion. It's a pretty color, so definitely. So, as if you were mentoring a new model coming into the industry, and with your wealth of experience, what would you say to them? What advice would you give them starting off?
one pointer I would say, uh, it's sad to say that it is a lot of predatory things that go on, and unfortunately, even though fashion is more catered to women, we do have men's fashion, but it's more something that benefits women. We have a lot of men that's in charge of a lot of stuff, and girls think that they have to sleep with these men or do whatever just to get an opportunity. That's not necessary. You don't have to do that. You don't have to sell yourself short. You can build up your portfolio. You don't have to date anyone. You don't have to sleep with
Yes.
anyone. Because there's been instances, and I've seen stuff where there's been men that try to like block people from going places because they refuse to date them or whatever you have. But I would tell people, we need to have a safe space, especially for these younger girls, because like they don't know better, and these men, especially if they're older men, they could take advantage. Because if it's a young girl that's like 18, 19, 20, and then you have a guy, I'm a photographer, I can make you famous, I can make you a model. So then they're going to jump on that. And I would just tell them to be wary and pretty much try to make a sister circle or talk to someone, that's more mature, that has more experience, and that knows how to point out red flags and when to know if an opportunity is worth it.
No, that's definitely wise advice to share, right? Making sure that you're safe, you're not being taken advantage of as a model. You do have rights, right? You can speak up and say,
Yeah.
"Hey, I feel uncomfortable with this situation or this setup. I'm not going to do it." And I think sometimes we as people we get distracted with chasing our dreams that we get caught up in situations where we're not using our common sense because
Yes.
we want it so bad and we want to trust everyone. And you can't trust everyone. And I like the
Yes, you
idea
can.
of the networking and the model sisters. That's so
Yes.
important. I think that's priceless. And I've realized in runway, women tend to be sometimes a little bit catty. But when you find great people that's authentic, you definitely got to connect with them.
And I can say I haven't really, with all the women that I've come across and worked with, I haven't had any like catty issues. The women have been great, and a lot of these young girls who you probably seen, and some of them probably worked with you,
Mhm.
and they've all been great. If somebody needed something, they're like, "Oh, you need some lotion? Oh, I need help with my eyelashes." They're always helping. But what I've seen is it's been mostly the men with
Oh,
the
the
issues.
men are
Yeah.
divas.
Yes, the men, the devos is mostly the men. It's not even the women, it's the
Oh
men.
my goodness.
So,
And I think too, it might depend on the area.
y-
Because I've seen some
yes,
cattiness in New York, but like Philly, everyone's been pretty supportive. I think it just depends on the circle and the energy of the show and that sort of thing. So that's great.
and that's another thing. here in Philly. We have so many
Yes.
groups, so many cliques. And if you just so happen to offend one person, then you could be, you know, somehow blocked out from stuff, or
Oh,
they don't tell you about events. And so I've even had that done to me, or people have events and don't invite me. And what people don't realize, and I try to tell people, like, I see the stuff that happen. I might be upset. I might talk about it, but not in the group, but probably to it. Like if I see a newcomer coming on, especially like a photographer, I'll be like, yeah, you could work with these people, but also watch out because you don't know what people will do to you. Um, one young photographer who I had the tiff with, and he was like, "Oh, you're trying to ruin me. You're talking about me in the same group of people that you was gossiping about." I was like, no, I wasn't gossiping. It's nothing to gossip.
right.
Anybody who were in these groups, and I tell you, sometimes they don't invite you to places or they'll exclude you from places. See, me, if I'm invited to a photo shoot and you tell me it's a theme, I'm gonna come dressed to impress. Like I'm sorry if anybody feel any kind of way because I'm putting 100% into my outfit, or that I'm actually showing up. Like I'm not trying to be better than nobody. I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes. So if people feel that way about me, I apologize. I can't help it. That's who I am.
Right.
I like when I say I live fashion, that's me. But like I'm not a problematic person. I don't like drama. But I do warn people, like it's groups, it's
Yes.
cliques. Like a photographer will tell somebody else, "Oh, this is free," but then you, same circle of people, "Oh, 250 for you." Like I thought we was in a group. I
Right.
thought because I was in this group, I'll get that same sentiment. But no, it's not. And what people don't realize, like I'm a young mother. I got kids that I'm taking care of. I got a job. I don't have help. Like I'm not rich. Everything I do is on a budget. Like, so I tried to ask people, like, well, can you work with me? Can you do something?
Right.
Like, I don't have $200, $300 to like throw out. And like, if you want an idea, I hope you come up with ideas. Can we do some projects? But I realized, like, I think one of the issues is one, I'm not a skinny girl. I'm not one of those cutesy girls because I realize those girls, well, pretty privileged, they get free photo shoots. A photographer will, oh, I'm gonna shoot her for free. But then me, if I come around, oh, I got an idea. Okay, that's going to be $100 or 200
Oh,
because I'm not a tall, skinny girl that could just throw on some lingerie
okay.
or whatever.
Okay. So you definitely have to be careful with
Yeah,
like who you connect with and what their motive is. And I think, there are people out there that's willing to just, they just love the art of fashion and photography, and they're willing
yes,
to work with you, and you have to connect with them. And as someone said to me, Philly is a big city, but it's also small. So everybody knows
yes.
everybody, especially within the fashion circle.
And also, I went to school for photography. So I just got to pick my camera back up. So I'm about to do that. And I'm about to get into videography so
Okay.
that I don't have to worry about no problems because I like to be fair to people. I don't discriminate and I'm not going to, treat nobody no different because either they skinny, tall, fat or whatever. Everybody get
The
treated the
same.
same.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always good to have that skill of photography. I went to Philly Fashion Week last weekend and I was talking to a photographer and he had a great camera. I think it was a Nikon, I want to say 3400. Don't hold me on the numbers.
Hmm.
But we were talking and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is used." And I'm like, "Really?" But yeah, you definitely got to do things yourself sometimes, especially because you're in so many different areas in terms of being a stylist, designer. You got to know how to take a photo too. Like that, everything connects and go hand in hand. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Uh, um, I know you model
Yes,
too, right?
yes. I'm a little bit all over the place.
So how long have you been
So my
modeling?
story is a little bit different from most people. When I was about, I'm going to say 15, 16, I took a couple classes at John Robert Powers downtown. I
Hmm.
didn't do anything with modeling at the time. And then it was many, many years ago. So I was 15, 16. I took the classes. I was 39. I had a boutique at the time selling swimsuits and things like that. And I was at a Mother's Day event, and they had a fashion show. And they had curvy older models. And I was like, oh, this is a thing. I didn't even know it was a thing. And so I, said, let me try it and see what happened. And it was the best thing because this was like right before COVID. So I
Okay.
started modeling, then the pandemic hit. And I think that helped me, like through the pandemic. It gave me something to work on, something to connect with people other than just work and, regular life, things like that. So I want to say on and off for about 5 years, I've been
Okay.
modeling. And through modeling, I realized I like interviewing people. I like talking to people, finding out their story and gaining wisdom from them. So that's where I'm at.
Before we go, one thing I did forget to mention, it just came to my mind. I do have one challenge. So it's a lot of shows where they say they're looking for plus size models,
Yes.
but when I see the girls that they pick, they're not necessarily plus size. They look like a size 10. They're not really curvy. They'll be like skinny and they might have like big breasts or whatever.
Right.
And then I'll come. Well, with me, I have breasts, hips, like I'm
Yes.
curvy. It's like I'm a anomaly because I haven't really seen anybody like shaped like me. And then and then the other women that I see them pick, they'll be like the older woman that's a little bigger, that got the hips, the wide calves. So it's like I'm an anomaly, and when I go to those type places, I do not get picked. And
Oh,
I was like, it's like I'm not skinny enough or I'm not big enough. So I decided that's what got me into actually designing. I was like, I want to let curvy plus size women that's like proportionate like me know that you have a place regardless. And then even with some of these young designers that just make like the athletic wear or some
streetwear.
t-shirt,
Yeah.
yeah, the streetwear. Some of them, like me, I would need to wear like a 2X or a 3X. And even though they make their own shirts, some people just refuse to make a plus size. And I was like, wow, but plus size people are in. And then that's one thing I'm good at wearing too. Athletic and streetwear, I can make it look amazing. So it was like discouraging. So that's why I wanted to center my clothes more towards plus size women and big and tall men. But so many smaller models like me and they my friends. So I started making stuff to include them too. But my main focus is big and tall plus size. And simply because I don't get those opportunities because people, I guess they don't want a big person like me wearing their stuff. So that's what I had to go through, especially with some of these Philly designers. It's like they refuse. Like it's not hard to get a 2X, 3X shirt and just put your logo on it. So,
It's tough. I think it's like this chain reaction, right? Where the manufacturer, maybe in China, they're making X amount of sizes. You can request other sizes as well, but people want to keep it in a certain range. They almost still want this exclusiveness. I feel like they
hmm
feel like, is my brand going to be taken seriously if it's for everybody and not that stereotypical, like, small size
hmm
only? But I think, and it's tough because there's been a lot of changes in the past few years. I remember during COVID, like it was a lot more diversity, equity, everybody belonged. And now it's slowly shifting in the other way. And even like the Y2K thin is back in, right? So where you
hmm
have like the Kardashians taking out whatever they put in, right, in terms of having that shapely body, that's changed. Now they're looking a little bit more slender. So it's like the plus size movement was a trend. It
hmm
wasn't here to stay. But hopefully, I'm hoping that it makes its way back in with people like you that are pushing and advocating for everyone to feel included. Because we're
Yeah.
all different and we all matter and we all belong.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was my, major issue with some of these Philly designers. And
It's not just
and it's
Philly. It's it's
well,
it's to other
I haven't
places.
when I went to LA, The designer I had,
Uh-huh.
like, she specialized in all different sizes, but most of her models was plus size.
Yeah.
And then in New York, there was this girl. She made streetwear, but she specialized in all sizes. She had people that were bigger than me. So I think it's just that people, like you said, they think it's an image
Yeah.
thing. But I've seen some real, nice, big and tall men, plus size women, some of the best dressers on the planet, make anything look good. And I was like, we should get past it. And then, like I said, it's not like my face is not, photogenic, or
Right.
what people say I'm not
No,
ugly.
beautiful.
And
Yeah.
and then like, I'm not sloppy in my weight. I'm well put together. So that's why I just will just sit there. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just make my stuff. But what I do say, like, I notice when they see a person start getting successful, then they want to jump on the bandwagon, then they want to try to work. See, I'm the type. I'm not going, like, if you turn me down, I'm
We're
sorry. It's not meant for
good.
me to work. Yeah, we're not. I'm not working with you.
You can keep that energy and I'm gonna keep it moving. And I
Yes.
think to close out, one of the things that Tyler Perry talks about is building, or how does it, how did he say it? Like you become the table, right? And when people say, "What do you bring to the table?" I am the table. I'm creating opportunities, and that's what's
Yeah.
coming through with your brain. And you're going to be helping a lot of people, from looking good to feeling good to feeling like they belong. And
Yes.
and that's a true blessing in itself. So where can the people follow you in terms of social, or if they want to be styled, drop your share your socials.
So for my styling page is styled by Mimi Flicks. So that's Styled and then Mimiflicks. And then for modeling, it's at Mimi Flicks Model. And then the name of my clothing brand is called Raise Your Vibes. So on each of those pages, I have a link to each page, so you can see any page from the other.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Again, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was great talking to you. Can you do me a favor as soon as we're done this? Can you DM me those socials? Because I'm gonna put everything in the caption when
I
I
sure will.
post the video. Again, we'll be in touch because we're definitely gonna work together. And I
Yes.
know there's a fashion show coming up, I believe, for Mother's Day.
Okay.
Um, and someone said to me, "Oh, you're interviewing one of my models," and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's Chosen Hands." I don't know. I
Chosen
can't
Hands.
remember the first name. It's a
Cho-
Mother's Day fashion show.
a Mother's Day fashion show. I'm supposed to be in a Mother's Day
I
fashion
don't know.
show.
She just said she
Oh my
chose one
God.
of my. See, you're booked and busy. You don't even know.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, who's that? Oh wow.
But no, that's a good thing though, because you have a strong reputation for being professional and gifted. But again,
Yeah. Please tell me so I can reach out. Like, wait, I'm in the show. I forgot.
she just said you
I
chose
gotta find
one of
out.
my models, and I was like, "Oh, okay,
Or,
bet."
or maybe I modeled for them in the
That
past.
could be
Maybe.
it. That
Okay.
could be
Okay.
it. Yeah. Well, they still claiming you as you're there, so we'll see.
Yeah. Please let me know so I can reach out to
All
them.
right, I will. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. All right. Thank you.
And thanks again. You
You
have a nice night.
too.
Bye
Bye.
bye.